Hey there, this is unpopular lifestyle vlogger Fames Jurgensen giving you some kitchen tips for the modern age. Now in this modern age that we're all in, I think it's clear that we all understand the importance of animal-based eating. And as a millennial, it's undeniable that we love to cook. And if there's anything we love more than cooking, it's cooking from scratch. So today, we're going to combine all those things and render some fat for cooking later on. So what I have here is some raw lamb fat. And what I've done to help facilitate the rendering process is I've cut these lamb fat chunks into strips. And then I'm going to run these strips through a meat grinder. Now, another thing about us millennials is we're all getting married and having kids at historically, bizarrely high rates. So your wife probably has a KitchenAid. She loves to cook too. And she does a lot of cooking. You can get an attachment for these KitchenAids that grind up meat. They work pretty well. So I'm going to run these strips through the meat grinder. One other thing is I've cut off like a lot of this fat that they trim off. They trim it around the organs. And I've rendered fat with these little things in there before, and it makes like this unappealing like the meat juice that accumulates at the bottom of the fat when you render it. Not my favorite. I don't really have to end up washing it out. Anyway, I try to cut out as much of that off as possible. Quick tip for you. Let's get to the grinding. So I'm going to flip this thing on, and then I'm going to jam these chunks in. And this grinds up these fat chunks into ground beef, except it's like ground fat. And what this does, as it grinds it up, is that it makes it so that more liquid will drain out of the fat at a much higher rate than if you just like cut it up into chunks. Come on, work for the camera. There we go. Alright. I mean, you could get jars of fat at the store, but it's rather costly. Plus, all of us millennial types, if there's something more than cooking that we love, it's shopping for stuff. Physically going out and getting the item from a store rather than having like a drone deliver it to your door. We hate that. We like to go out there, we like to interact with the public. And the benefit of that is that when you interact with the public, such as what I do at the farmers markets, you'll end up getting free fat. You establish a relationship with the person who provides you with the food, they end up liking you, and then they end up giving you free fat. That's right, I got free fat from Farmer Chef's Dad. So, what I could pay for, I could do it. Ends up being a lot of economical, is what I'm trying to say. Right, free, put some work into it. And those are all good things. These are good things. Alright. Yeah, Chef's Dad's pretty cool. So, I'm going to grind the rest of this. Alright, we've reached the rendering stage of this process. We got our fat all ground up. Now some people like to do it in a slow cooker, some people do it in the oven, and then some dumbasses like me blast it on a burner and end up ruining the whole thing. It defeats the purpose of rendering your own fat, as you can control the temperature of the rendering, and you want to go as low as possible. If you see the fat starting to boil, that's a bad sign. So what I do now that I'm smarter is that I'll put it in the oven at 200. That's not going to ruin the fat. Another thing to do is put a little water in there, and that'll protect it during the initial cooking process. Water protects things during the cooking process. So put a little bit in there for the protection. Need the lid. Where's the lid? Put your hand on the lid. The lid. Okay. Now wait. This is an hour and 20 minutes later and it looks pretty good. This has taken more than 8 hours in the past, or over a day, when I didn't grind it up. So it's economical to do the grinding. Time to jar it.
Cheesecloth, ladles, and funnels are helpful tools.
Alright, so all that fat made 3 jars of lamb tallow, but it's all for free courtesy of Shep's dad. Even so, fat's cheap. And here's some of that meat juice stuff. It accumulates towards the end. You don't want to eat that. It smells rank. So that's not a good sign. And Simone was not much help at all.
No.
But she's filtering, she's jarring broth, which is helpful. Anyway, join us next time when I do something and do a video about something and nobody watches it.